Anybody that knows me knows I would not be found dead in a stock car shop, but here we are. Nick Sheridan, why am I in a stock car shop?
Well, this is where I work here, especially in the off season. So we all work in sprint cars in the summertime, but we all got to pay those bills somehow. So here I am working on asphalt cars.
Okay, and what shop are we in?
We're in McCall Racing.
Okay, so in London, Ontario. What do you do here? Like, what are your jobs?
Well, I seem to do a little bit of everything. A lot of fab this time of year, a lot of fabrication and bodies and interior and stuff like that. And even from that to assembling race cars and just getting things ready to go on the racetrack.
Does any of it apply to a sprint car, or is it just not even close?
There's plenty of the technical side that applies to a sprint car. Kind of same sort of thing. You're turning left on an oval track, so you get a lot of correlation between those two. But there's also a lot of things that are different. Some things you take away from sprint cars asphalt, and some things you bring from the asphalt to the dirt road.
Okay, and what is your background? I know the family has a stock car history.
Yeah, my background's been stock cars forever. My dad raced late models at Delaware Speedway from basically the time I was born, and then my brother got into it. We both started in the QRC micro sprints, and then he kind of took that into an asphalt route, and I kind of ran with that and rolled into the sprint car side of things.
And why? Why dirt versus asphalt? You've broken the family history.
It's a really good question. I've been called the black sheep a few times for it, but it's just different. Something I've always enjoyed, and whenever Jake and I race together, sometimes we fight a little bit. So it's good to get us both on different sides.
It actually probably isn't the worst idea.
No, for sure.
So you went through the karts and worked your way to the dirt, and then what have you done in sprint cars?
Well, we started running the crate sprint, Sheridan in 2019.
Yeah.
We ended up winning the championship there, which was amazing. And then we ran the action sprint tour as that came, and the COVID deal happened. And then last year was our first year in our 360, and we ran that Sheridan and the Knights of Thunder tour.
So you're quite pleased with the results?
Yeah, it's we were real fast. We were much better, honestly, than I thought we were going to be, but we were real close to getting one without getting one, which kind of gives even more motivation to come into this year.
Right. Yeah. You were how many podiums? 3 or 4?
I think we had 5 or 6 podiums, but
Wow.
we had 2 or 3 thirds and 2 or 3 seconds.
So what are the big lessons learned?
We're in the going to the 360s.
Yeah.
It's really the whole car setup is the biggest thing we need to learn. Between the crate and 360, I make completely different adjustments on the car. We change a lot of stuff that way, and just driving that's a little tougher to learn too. And it's always fun. I always love a new challenge, and it's really enjoyable for me.
And what are we looking at for 2023?
2023, we'll be running full time on Sheridan Speedway, and as many SOS races as we can. We're really pumped. That's a great series in that, but our budget doesn't quite allow us to run full time with it this year. So we'll run on Sheridan, part time that, and then maybe dabble in the States for 3 or 4 races.
You mentioned to me prior to our speaking that you're looking at about 30 races on a motor. That's kind of the limiting factor.
Yeah, pretty much. I think anything outside of that 30 race mark, you're kind of stretching it. You might not have as much horsepower and be as competitive. So Gary Leach builds some really good motors. I'm sure we could do more, but for kind of our motor and then also our budget for our own program, 30 races is kind of about where we're at this year.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize is we could probably schedule more races, no problem, but the engine life is a limiting factor for many local teams that aren't full-time professionals.
Yeah, for sure, it's tough, and yes, the engine factor is tough, but it's not even just that. The 360 class is the more expensive class, but that is even kind of doable. But just for a lot of the team, there's so many other expenses. You got tires and fuel and travel and car and all that, and it's a lot of people who aren't the bigger teams, which is amazing they can do that, but it's tough for them too. So it's great to have some series that have not overwhelming schedules we can run.
Yeah, and I think we are at the limit where we are right now. I don't think in the province of Ontario right now we could take any more races. That's my own personal opinion.
No, for sure, I 100% agree with that.
Okay, so what are the goals?
Goals for this year? We want to finally get in victory lane one time. That'd be awesome. But the main goal is just to do the best, as good as we can, the Sheridan Series points, and then run a few extra races, just to get as much experience as we can going forward.
And you did talk as well. You might even go to the U.S. for a little bit.
Yeah, I would like to go down and run a few Great Lakes Super Sprints races in that, and possibly, if we end up having a really good year, maybe even try and make an outlaw show with our 360.
Okay, and no Florida or any of that stuff.
None of that Florida, no.
Okay, well, good luck this year, and it was great talking to you, even though I'm in a stock car shop.
For sure, it's pretty crazy you're here. It was great talking anyways. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you a lot.